Need to switch over from my primary wrap color to the antique gold that I'm using as a tipping. Okay. And one of the tricks I use for getting this fine thread with as few number of turns as possible for tipping is some distilled water, and I'm going to wet the silk that I'm going to be wrapping with, which is to say 6 or 8 inches off the spool, get it soaking wet. And I'm using distilled water as opposed to tap water so that there's no minerals in here that would wind up staining the silk. In my case, I've got a lot of iron in the water, and the water tends to run a little bit yellow out of the tap. So I'm going to use clean distilled water. Now that thread is wet. I'll lay the first turn in there. Again, making sure that my starting and stopping point are in line with the guide foot. I cross over, put some tension on that thread with my thumb, roll it around. There's 2 wraps. I'm going to do 5 tipping turns on the stripping guide, and then 4 on this snake, and then 3 on the rest of the snakes. I've got 2 turns down. I'm going to take a loop of thread for a tie-off loop, put it through. That loop again is facing in the direction toward which I'm wrapping. There's 3 turns, and now I can pick up my burnisher and pack that wrap. And that's 4 turns up, and this is my final and 5th wrap. Now I'm going to dampen that wrap again, the whole way around, and put some pressure on it with my thumb, slip the thread, through the loop, and get both those ends up so they're in line with the foot of the guide. And I'm going to very gently snug them up. I'm making sure that this is nice and tight. Before I cut those 2 tag ends, I'm going to once again pack the wrap. And this thread, just the water tension, the surface tension from the water helps to keep these wraps in place, and then as the silk dries, it tends to shrink just a hair, further tightening the wrap. This is the tag end that's been tucked back underneath of the wrap. I'm going to lay the X-Acto in, pull the thread across it, and slip forward. And there's 1 fiber of silk sticking out, which you may be able to see right here. I'm going to pinch that with my finger. I think I got it. Now this tag end is coming out from underneath of the wrap. I want to very carefully abut the blade of the knife to the tipping wrap, and without scoring the blank, I'm going to use the blank as sort of a cutting board, a cutting surface. I'm going to rock the blade on it and nip off that tag end perfectly flush. And already you can see the silk is drying out, it's cinched up, and it's ready for color preserver.